My name is Tarmack, and this is my review of What Remains of Edith Finch on PC. I do not like walking simulators. It seems beneficial that you know this as early as possible. I did not like Dear Esther, nor did I like Vanishing of Ethan Carter. So, I went into What Remains of Edith Finch with a healthy cynicism, and to be perfectly frank, if I had not been given review code to take a look at this title, I would not have bothered with it out of pure disdain for the genre. I leave this caveat right here at the beginning because I think it's important context to the rest of the review. What Remains of Edith Finch released on PC and PS4 on April 24th, and as mentioned, they did provide review code to me for the purpose of this review. As a walking simulator, from a gameplay perspective, you're not going to find any puzzles here. There are a couple of opportunities that the developers had to turn certain hidden elements into puzzles, but instead of going that route, they elected to handhold certain discoveries. You play in the first person with the usual WASD key structure on PC, using the mouse to look, and you also have a limited zoom to take a closer look at things in the world. It supports controllers as well, but I don't enjoy playing first-person titles that way on PC. I was initially disappointed that it didn't have any puzzles to it, but as I got towards the end, it struck me that being stuck on puzzles in a narrative-heavy experience like this could damage the story flow, and there's something to be said for having a title with no downtime trying to figure things out. Interactive objects in the world are shown by way of a small glowing orb. Instead of a simple click to interact, though, a number of different mouse motions are used, swiping left to right to turn the page of a book, or turning a crank on a music box. It's heavily voice acted, and each voice line is accompanied by text in the world, but the text is more than just an overlay. It's a part of the world in some cases, involving everything from being shattered after having just been read, to narrowly fitting in an opening that you're meant to look at. The narrative walk through the woods to the house itself at the beginning sets an eerie and nostalgic tone, but it's not until you get into the house itself that the full breadth of the visual aesthetic that's on offer is made known. Scenic views out of windows as the day fades to night, a house full of clutter of a family that picked up and left without taking anything with them. It's creepy and homey at the same time. And what really impressed me about how this title looks, in addition to simply having good art design, is the attention to detail. Every book on every shelf has a title. Every room is packed with knickknacks, posters, pictures, all kinds of things that you'd see in a real house, albeit a bit macabre at times. Unlike most titles in the game industry, each of these rooms looks lived in, not just like a room in a video game. The sound design is absolutely suited to the world, and the voice acting has all of the emotion that one would expect from a person reliving these old and sad memories. But more important than all of that is the story. Ultimately, and without spoiling anything, What Remains of Edith Finch is a tragedy told through journals and reliving the experiences of family that once lived in this old house. And I want to remind you that I hate walking simulators, but I'm gonna gush for a bit here. Every memory of a Finch family member that you get to relive is told in a way different from all of the others. And all of this is really difficult to describe without spoiling things. As you explore the house and discover these journals along the way, the world will shift slightly to take you to a memory of the person to give a bunch of backstory on them. Each of these memories has excellent voice acting as well. You get to experience the imagination of a child feeling what it's like to be a cat chasing a bird, for example. It takes its time to provide the view and experience of a variety of ages and scenarios, right up to an older brother working in a fish cannery. And the experience of seeing the worldview of each of these people is often overshadowed by the knowledge right from the get-go that Edith Finch is the last Finch. So you go into each memory with a kind of apprehension and almost fear, because you know the outcome, just not how something happened. I have never had an experience like this before. For performance and options, What Remains is an Unreal 4 engine game and has the visual options to match. Resolution, shadow and texture quality, draw distance, anti-aliasing. Sound options have basic volume sliders as you would expect, and for controls, unfortunately there's no rebinding here. For the most part, the game ran really well with a shiny 60 frames per second at 1080p. I did, however, run into a section during the end of a live stream where the frame rate dropped into single digits. After I rebooted and started the game up again, I didn't have the problem a second time, so I can't say with any conviction that it's a game issue. It could have had something to do with OBS for the stream, but it's worth mentioning either way. At the end of it all, What Remains of Edith Finch surprised the hell out of me. I made it perfectly clear that I do not like walking simulators. What Remains is absolutely gorgeous from beginning to end, well voiced from beginning to end, and the way that the story is told with such variety and unique methods is a genuine treasure. I have never experienced a story like this told like this, absolutely to its credit. The only aspect that I can really see as a negative is that it's a $20 title that's around 2 to 3 hours long. But I need to reiterate something that I've said before, that I feel a game that is amazing for 2 to 3 hours is often superior to a game that has ups and downs in its experience for 20 to 30 hours. What Remains of Edith Finch is the new barometer for quality in this genre that all others need to be measured against, and the Giant Sparrow development team should be damn proud of what they've accomplished here. It's an experience worth having, and I recommend it on that basis. Thanks for checking out my review of What Remains of Edith Finch. There isn't a better place to talk about this, but I've made content in the past that makes it very clear I do not view walking simulators as video games. A game requires an obstacle and a failure state in my view. However, that does not mean that video game form products like this cannot be excellent experiences that are worth having, and this one certainly is. The video was made with review code provided by the developer. All footage was captured on a PC with an i7-5820K, 16GB of RAM, and a GTX 1070 video card. It was released on PC and PS4 April 24th for a base price of $20 US. My name's Tarmack. Thanks for watching.